ITead Solutions got in touch with me and they asked me if I would like to review their products. Obviously I said yes, so this package turned up today. Obviously I opened it, and so I said that I would like to remove quite a few of their products, so we agreed that they are going to send 2 in the beginning. That's what I got in this box. So now what I got is I got a Sonoff Touch wall switch, Sonoff TH10, which is like the original Sonoff with a temperature sensor and the temperature sensor itself. So I've already reviewed some of their products. Well, in particular, there is only one, which is the Sonoff, the original Sonoff. But I've also done quite a few videos with modified firmware, but it seems that they don't mind that much, which is really nice of them. So thumbs up. Thank you guys again. I wanted to test these out because these give various inputs. Obviously this provides like a touch input, and this can provide a temperature input. So I will be able to test some of the scene features in the IV-Link application, which I couldn't do with a Sonoff, because there is no real variable input on a simple Sonoff device. So that's what you get. This is the TH10. What I quite like about it is so all the new devices have this new housing. So if it has a mounting slot, if you want to, screw it onto the wall. But what I also like about it is that it has all the different inputs, and they haven't forgot about the earth connection as well. So you don't need to route it through separately, because now you basically have 6 terminals. So your 3 wires going in, which is the live, neutral and earth, and then the 3 wires going out. Obviously neutral and earth is connected inside. And on the TH10, what you will notice is that you have this hole in the back, on the side, where you can plug the temperature sensor. So this is how the temperature sensor looks like. It comes with a piece of wire. It's probably about 1 meter long. And this rather big sensor housing, which again you can mount it with let's say double-sided tape or with a screw. And then what it says in the back is more about the precision. So I think I have to look it up, but they are using the AM2301, which is, I think, is the same as the TH11. Which is the least precise of the 2 temperature sensors. So relative humidity is ±3% and temperature is ±0.5 degree. But again, it should be pretty good for most home use. Let me just unwrap this wire. So you're getting about this long wire, and it plugs in like so. The next one is going to be the switch. And it comes in various different versions, and this is a European one. So it's more like a rectangular shape, and the US it looks slightly different. And we have a nice protective foil in the front, and so in the front you get this acrylic glass, and then some Sonoff labels at the back, and the touch sensor, and this is probably going to be an indicator LED. I haven't tested this, I just literally opened the box, and this is the first time I'm using this, so I just need to figure out how it actually works. And on the back you have 3 connection, you have neutral, a live going in and live going out. So this can be used for as a local switch, as a replacement of any ordinary switch, and also as a wireless switch to control something else. So I just removed the front cover from the TH10. It's secured by the single screw, and then you can see the 6 terminals inside, and it's also nicely seal screened here, so you can see it's live out, the 2 earth, which are connected obviously, live in, and then the 2 neutral, which are again connected. And it has this nice spring-loaded terminal. So you push this in, you put the wire in, and then you release, and then it will be locked inside. Oh, by the way, TH, well, it obviously stands for temperature and humidity, as These are the two readings the sensor is going to provide, and 10 means that it's a 250 volt 10 amp relay inside, and there is also a bigger version available, which is the TH16, so that has a 16 amp relay. So again, just keep this in mind before you purchase, just to make sure that you are buying something which is rated for the device that you want to switch. To test these two devices, I created this rather improvised jig. I mounted the Sonoff Touch on the right and the TH10 on the left. The temperature sensor is plugged in at the moment, and I have two bulbs. This is controlled by the touch, and the lower one is controlled by the TH10. And I just have mains wired in, so the Sonoff is getting the mains live and neutral, and then on the live out I've connected the lamp, so that should control the lamp. And on the TH10 I have the live coming in here, and then the live out going out here to the lamp. And then that's it, it's simple as that, and it's plugged into the wall outlet, which is just behind this panel. As you would expect, even without setting up the devices or connecting it to the EV-Link application, you can just use the touch as any other normal touch sensor. So you just touch in the middle and the light comes on, and then you touch again and the light comes off. And actually I don't have a footage of this, but I've taken this unit apart, and there is a sensor probably that big right under the touch sensor, so if you touch it anywhere else, or even on the Wi-Fi symbol, it doesn't work. So, and this panel is completely flat, so again there is no way to tell whether you are touching it at the right spot. But even you just bring your palm across the whole sensor, you are going to touch it. But it's probably a little bit difficult to touch right in the right spot. But it's not really visible in the video. There is a really faint blue light behind the Wi-Fi symbol, and when the light is off, there is also a faint blue light behind these dot symbol in the middle. So let's assume you have it installed in the wall as normal. Then you will have a really small indication in the dark where you need to reach to operate the lamp. Also, I don't have a footage of that, but there are some relief clips in the back. So if you need to take this the front cover off, you just have to reach in with a screwdriver, and then you can just snap, not snap, but take the front cover off. And it's quite smart that it's right in the at the back, because at least there is no chance of scratching either the side or the front acrylic glass. And once you have this, the panel off, you have some screw mounts to secure it on the wall. And just to mention the operation of the TH10 as well, again, even without being connected to the network or being registered in the application, the button works as a normal on-off type switch. So you press it once, the output comes on, you press it again and the output comes off. And there is, I'm not sure if it's visible in the video, there is quite a faint red status light here as well, and a blue one for the Wi-Fi. I'm going to start the EV-Link application. Again, you will find the links to this application. You can find them in the App Store for Android and iOS, but there is also a QR code link at the back of the box. And I've already paired my two devices with my account. So again, if you haven't used this before, just a really quick recap. You download the app, you need to create a user ID and a password using an email ID or a phone number. And then once you are in here, you just follow the instructions. You click on the plus button, you follow the instructions how to pair a device. I was still struggling a little bit with Android, but I also have an iPad, and the process just works much better on the iPhone for some reason. And I think it's down to the fact that on the iOS you can manually switch to the Wi-Fi network, which is connected by the Sonoff. On the Android, tries to connect it automatically and it doesn't work all the time, so that creates some issues. But anyway, it worked at the end, and you know, once it got registered, then you don't have to go through that process anymore. Again, for guys who haven't used this application before, just want to highlight that this works whether you are in or outside of your home network, so you can control these devices anywhere. And now I have the two set up, and I can just easily control the lights, turn them on and off by clicking on the icons on the left. And you get some other features as well, so you can see the signal strength, how strong the signal is for these devices connecting to your local access point. You can delete them, and then you can set up some timers. And just for any other devices, if you click on the main area, then you get this screen which is again allows you to control the device and also do some other, you know, configuration. And of course, because TH10 is like a sensor device, you get the sensor readings as well on the screen. And in case it's not clear for anyone, the status feedback on the app works irrespective what changes the device status. Like, okay, I turn both of them on the app, but if I just reach out to the touch and turn it off, and then push the button on the TH10 and turn it off, the application obviously updates, so it always shows the actual status. And also this is why you are getting this delay, because well, I'm just assuming that the app is waiting for a confirmation from the device that it has carried out the action, in this case turning off, on and off. Going into the application, going into the main screen of the device, you will find that it's going to look like for all the devices. I mean, obviously the center part is going to change, the graphics will change to represent the actual device, but the buttons then down in the bottom and then some of the options up in the top are going to be the same. So you always have this info button where you can see what model this device is, and if you come up to the top, you have a settings where you can rename the device, check the firmware version, and I think it was either the Touch or the TH10 which had a new firmware when I set it up, and you just click here saying that update the firmware, and it happens in a few seconds. So it's really nice and convenient. And a nice setting here on the Touch as well is that you can set up you can specify the power on state of the device. Going back, okay, so that was settings. You can delete, which is again important. So remember that when you link a new device to your account, then that device gets locked against your account. So if you forget the account, like forget the password, and if you decide to set up a new account, you won't be able to set up devices because they are linked against your old account. So you have to be you have to remember that. I think you need to get in touch with ITead and they can do something about it. So it's not a straightforward process. So anyway, if you plan to migrate the device to a different account, then delete it from the first account. Also, you have this operation record list or screen here where you can see how the state of the device was updated, and it only shows the last three, and it shows whether this goes on or off, the timestamp, and whether it was done from the application or from the device doing it, you know, physically, like the way I reached out to the touch sensor to turn it off. And that's available for all of the devices. And then you have the three options down here is share, timer, and countdown. Share obviously allows you to share this particular device with another account who also have the EV-Link application, so they can control the device as well. The timer is, I think if you use other applications, it's usually called a schedule, where you can create schedules when the device should turn on and off, and this can be once when you specify date and time, or it can be like a reoccurring one where you can specify which day of the month it should, sorry, which day of the week it should occur, and when it should turn on, so you specify that as one entry, and when it should turn off. So in my example, I just yeah, it just turns on for 4 minutes, from 4:04 p.m. to 4:10 p.m. and it turns off. And you can set up, if I remember the documentation, the device itself can store 8 of these settings within the device memory. So even if the network connection is disconnected, these timers will still function. And the other one is the countdown, which is just quite an interesting one. So what you specify here that after a certain amount of time elapsed, that can be days, hours and minutes, the device should turn itself off. And again, this is something that you would trigger manually. So if I turn this on and I come back to countdowns and I say turn off after 2 minutes, I don't know what this top means and what once means, because it cannot be reoccurring, so it doesn't really make sense. And then just the after 2 minutes completed, the completed just says that it was running the path that it has completed, so I can just start again now. And the order just got rearranged, but anyway, you can see here now that it is running at the moment. And it's as far as I can tell, it's showing the time when it was started, and now after 2 minutes the lamp will turn automatically off. So it is a nice feature to turn things on and off after a certain period of time, but this is something that you trigger. So like, yeah, turn something on and then select one of the available countdowns to turn it automatically off, or the other way around. So these are the timers and the countdowns that you can use. And there is one more function, which is, I'm just going to show it on the other device. So again, if you come here to the loop timer, and again, this is a screen which I think it's really difficult to understand. And what is it trying to tell you? That, or what I'm doing here is I'm setting up a reoccurring cycle or loop, which is 10 minutes long. Oh, and probably you can hear now, or you can see now that the 2 minutes has elapsed, so the lamp has gone off. So going back to the loop timer, so you are setting up a 10-minute loop or a 10-minute cycle, which starts in an open state, which means on, and then after 5 minutes it turns off, and it starts today at 2:24. So maybe 2:20. Oh, okay, 2:24, and when I click on complete, then it would this loop timer will get automatically activated. And with this setup, it means that it will turn on, wait for 5 minutes, turn off, and then after 5 minutes it starts again. So it will be like a 5-minute on, 5-minute off timer. And with these settings, you can set up any reoccurring timers like that with sort of hour and minute accuracy for the on and an off time, and it will just keep repeating until you come here and then you disable it. Let me go back to the touch, and I can set it on the touch. Maybe I would do it really short. So a 2-minute cycle with a 1 minute on and a 1 minute off, and I say complete. Oh, what was the time? Okay, it starts at 26, so it's going to start in a few minutes. Fine, so that would be all about the standard features that you would get for any Sonoff devices. And we have seen that the touch is, well, it's just a switch, so it doesn't really do much. And then you have the TH10, which is obviously more complicated. You still have the manual way of controlling the state of the relay in the Sonoff 10, provided that you are in the manual settings, because you can change this to auto. So if you flick it over to auto, then you say that based on these temperature or humidity settings, so it will be either of them, you can automatically control the state of the relay. So now it's 26 degrees, So if I do 27, oh no, let's do, so if it goes above 29 then it should turn on, and if it goes below 27, let's say 28, then it should turn off. So you need to leave a little bit of hysteresis between the two, and then you enable it, and now you can see that it's in auto mode, and it shows you the two threshold temperatures. So it's 29 on, 28 off, and you can't control it now because it's in auto mode. So let me get a torch or something so I can just heat up the temperature sensor. So I got this small gas burner. I'm trying not to melt the sensor, but at the same time you can see that the 1 minute on-off cycle on the touch has started. So it's 2:26 in the afternoon, and that's what that was the start time for the loop timer that we set. So it's going to turn on and off. But let's test the TH10 now. So I'm going to I'll try to melt this. Sorry, not melt, heat it up. And what you can also see is the update frequency of the temperature and the humidity, which is like every 2 seconds or every 3 seconds or so. So as you can see, the temperature has gone above 29, so it has turned automatically on, and then soon enough it's going to go below. Okay, it's already 28. Okay, it's not too warm. And then once it drops below 28, it's going to turn off. So straight away out of the box, you can use the TH10 as a thermostat to control temperature. But the great thing about this is that you can also use it to control humidity as well. Because in the when I set it up the auto mode, if you remember, there was a temperature humidity radio button on the top, so it can respond to temperature and humidity as well. Okay, it's taking a little bit more time to cool off. At the same time, just wanted to mention again that you have the timer and the oh, sorry, the touch came on. So you have the timer and the countdown functionality here as well, and also the loop timer functionality. So that again, it's available for all the devices. And here again, you see the operation record, which is basically like a history. And I'm trying to wait until this goes below, so we can see that the lamp chain turns off. This probably takes a little bit more time to cool off. Maybe I should have set it up a few degrees. But anyway, so that's pretty much what you are getting as functionality of these two sensors within the sensor screen. But there is one more thing in the EV-Link application, which is also quite useful. These are the scene modes. So you have to come out of the device screen, so you see all the devices, and again you click the 3 buttons or the 3 dots on the top left, and you select the scenes, and that's where you set up like recipes which act across multiple devices. Oh, by the way, this is what we're waiting for. Okay, so the temperature is 28 now, and then the lamp has turned itself off. I'm going to set it to manual now. Okay, going back to scenes. So what you do in scenes is it's pretty much what you see on the screen. So you give the scene a name, and you define a triggering condition, and then you assign an execute or an action which is getting executed once the trigger conditions are met. By the way, let me turn this off because it gets a little bit more annoying for me. Delete. Okay. Okay, so I disable the 1 minute cycle sequence, and let's just go back to the scenes. So the one thing I've set up here is a simple thing. So if the TH10 temperature goes above 26% and if it goes above 80% humidity, then on the touch I set the status to on. So this is a great example where one device, which is the TH10, or in this particular case the temperature sensor of the TH10, controls another device, another Sonoff device, which in this case the Sonoff. And when you are creating a new scene, the trigger conditions are limited, because you can either do click to execute, which means that you click on the scene in the application itself. So this is how you start it, or you have a trigger device. And at the moment, the only trigger device I have is the TH10, because it has temperature and humidity readings. Unfortunately, I have expected that the touch also becomes a trigger device, so I can trigger a scene by clicking on the button, but for some reason it's not available. Okay, let me go back to my... so again, if the temperature rises above 26 and the humidity above 80, and then you control the touch button. And the good thing is you can, if I would have multiple devices, like if I would have a Sonoff or something else, I could add multiple devices to the action. So like one device is controlling many others. And if I have, maybe another TH10, maybe the condition can be based upon multiple devices as well. But with my limited setup, this is the best that I could do at the moment. Once you create it, then it is basically active. You can delete it, or you have a log. Oops, do I have a log? Oh, okay, that's your log. And that's it. And I don't really have to do much. I mean, nothing in the application to get it, activate, because obviously it's based on some conditions happening on the TH10. But if I try to increase the temperature and the humidity, and the only way I can do that is by breathing a little bit on the device. So you just have to bear with me while this happens. Oh, let me get this one. How are we doing? 75, 80, 84, okay, 90. So as you can see on the screen now, we met the condition for the scene, and the lamp on the touch sensor came on. And it's not going to go off, because the only scene I specified is one which actually turns the touch on. So it's going to stay on like that, even if the humidity and temperature readings drops. So in a like a full cycle control, you would create another one. So this triggers the touch, and the other one, let's say, deactivates the touch. And the timers, the scenes, all the loop counters and everything, they give signals to these devices to turn on and off. But you always have the option to walk over to the device and then use the physical button to turn them on or off. So at any point you can always interact or change the output by clicking on the button, or doing the same on the application, regardless if the device state was changed by a scene or any other setup within the application itself. This will be pretty much all about me playing around with the TH10 and the touch. And the reason I'm quite happy for these two devices, because hopefully, as you can see in this video, there is a lot more capability in the application and the entire setup when you have these type of devices, especially with sensor inputs, because you can really put some scenarios together, and it makes it enables you to create more important or more interesting scenarios than just a bunch of Sonoff devices. I hope you find my Sonoff TH10 and Touch review video useful. If ITead is also pleased with the video content, then hopefully I will have a few more devices in the future to test. So stay tuned and hopefully see you in the next video.